Using that. Oh, okay. All right. Oh shit. Share. Copy. I'm coming, y'all. Bear with me 1 second. Hey, y'all. Welcome. Appreciate. Oh, okay. Y'all coming in this morning. Appreciate y'all joining another edition of Chronicles with Captain Tazaryach. Let me get the roll call out the way. Let's see. I'm gonna wait. What I'm gonna start doing, because I know some people come in a little later. Hey, Mara Kapaf, you gotta let me know if that pure is on point. I think that pure is on point. Let me know if I had it on point. Let me know. Let me know. Oh, something on my damn hat. I gotta get me a new hat. I'm gonna have to get me a new hat. I'm gonna get me a new hat. Um, so I won't be long on this Car Chronicles. You know, we got Cross the Line Radio tonight. Um, I did a debate last night about was Paul hostile to the disciples according to the law. And I like the brother. One thing, okay, what made me want to take this debate because I had never heard of the brother at all. I just seen him on Sinetta's channel doing their presentation. And the reason why I wanted to do that debate because I know Paul is like a touchy subject, and but here's the difference. But in history, during Paul, Peter, Christ's time, and even after, there was always division. That's why you would hear Paul say, "Let there be no division among you, so that we can all be together." And a lot of people get misconfused about Paul. Like I hadn't read the Book of Acts in a long time. When I mean read by the Book of Acts in a long time, meaning like went through the Book of Acts thoroughly. And when you think about the title of the Book of Acts, the reason why it's called the Book of Acts because it's the Acts of the Apostles. So that's going from Peter, Paul, James, Mark, Barnabas, etc. And I really thought that I was gonna have to. I really thought that I was gonna have to primarily use like Paul's letters for to certify Paul, so to speak. And this is why, like, when the Bible says, "Study thyself to be approved." So as I'm reading, like Acts the 9th chapter, when I tell y'all, I don't want to make it seem like I never knew that Ananias was the one that baptized Paul, or the one that gave Paul the Holy Spirit, or that Ananias spoke to Christ also. But I damn near want to say I never knew that. I damn near want to say I never knew until I had to do this battle that Ananias spoke to Christ as well. Because of course when we it's almost like it's some like when we think about Paul meeting Christ, we only stop at Paul meeting Christ. We don't go further. Like you and because the battle is in Acts 9, it says this, in Acts 22, it says that. But now once like I read the whole story, now you're getting more in depth and he couldn't get around that. So he can't. That's why when he did that whole Acts the first chapter, the way the disciples did it. Okay, if he want to say the disciples had their method of doing it, well, when Christ did it, Christ outranks the disciples, so Christ can make anybody apostle that he wants to make an apostle, and he couldn't get around it. And what makes it good that it was in the book of Acts is because he was using Acts. So he can't use Acts in chapter 1 and then now negate Acts chapter 9, which is what people try to do when they can't explain an argument. There was no fluidity with his position. Even when he tried to use their homilies. You see, I pulled out the sources. It's called pseudo homilies. So if it's called pseudo homilies, and I pulled out 4 sources saying that that was not written by Clement, then that also negates that. Even him trying to make Romans the 16th chapter be about the Herodians made no sense, because when we almost take common knowledge for granted, meaning like we'll take stuff at face value. Even I fall victim to it. Like I said, with Acts the 9th chapter, thinking that Christ only spoke to Paul. You take for granted that that's the case until you actually go and read it. And it's the same thing with Romans the 16th chapter, because when he started talking about the salute Herodian, I'm thinking like, damn, is Paul with the Herodians? But then when you go look at um the actual chapter, that's talking about a man who just happened to have the name Herodian. That's all that's talking about. And he tried to cheat when he went into his so-called rebuttal. He tried to cheat and say, see, it's from the root. We wasn't talking about the root. Hey, can you just type in what Genesis 15 and 13 says, and then I'll break it down? Um, and so it was just a trip. Even him trying to make Paul be this secret agent. And this is why I say what he had to do. Shout out to Nazarene Essene saying, I lost. I'm glad he's listening, because a lot of the stuff that he brought out didn't make sense to the topic. The battle was Paul a Roman? The battle wasn't even the ethnicity of Paul, right? That wasn't the battle. The battle was Paul hostile according to the law? That cat brought out a pseudo reference. The book is called Pseudo Clementine. If I brought out a book that said pseudo anything, y'all would have castrated me. Even him saying Paul was a freedman. I even brought out the history from the Oxford Dictionary on what a freedman in Rome meant. It did not mean being a freed man had nothing to do with being an Herodian. Being a freed man had to do with just being free, like how we're free today. That don't mean we white people, even though we got white last names. Some of us has white names. Doesn't mean that we were freed. Excuse me. That means that we was white. Like the argument just didn't make sense. Even when he said, shout out to Baba on the oils. Even when he said that you had to get your meat cut a certain way. He said you had to get your right. So like I ain't talking about like if we go to the Passover, if you had a feast day or something like that, you right. You had to get your meat cut a certain way. But if I slaughter a calf on my land, I don't have to go to a priest for him to cut it. I'm the butcher at that point. Like so the argument didn't make sense in Deuteronomy the 12th chapter, cut it. Circumcision, Deuteronomy, what was it, 16, 10 and 16, cut it. So it was really, but I will, what I will say, if that brother just learned the Bible, he'll be a lot more surgical. He'll be a lot more surgical. Even in the Q&A when I asked it, because I brought up Second Peter. Now here's how you do precept upon precept properly. In Acts the 15th chapter, Peter called Paul his beloved brother. In Second Peter 3 and 16, he calls Paul his beloved brother. So when he tried to question Second Peter, and that's why I brought it out, it's 6 books that was so-called, and I'm gonna read y'all this source, because this is when he really like canceled himself out trying to negate Second Peter. When and this is here right here, if y'all can see, it says, let me see if I put it this way. It says acceptance of disputed New Testament books. You see how the word books is plural? Because it wasn't just Second Peter that was in question. It was Hebrews. You see that? Hebrews, Second Peter, John, Second John, Third John, and Revelations. Those are the books that were all in question. Now, here's the important part when they try to say disputed like it was a bad thing. If anybody goes to this site, I'm gonna read it. It says by disputed, we mean that some geographic regions accepted the books while others recognized it, but did not view it on the same level as the accepted New Testament books. While some geographic areas had always accepted these books as scriptures, others held them at bay, even considering them forgeries. The most logical explanation is that some of these books were originally written to one geographic area, and the book did not immediately get distributed to other areas. That's why you would have some church fathers accepted all of them. Some church fathers accepted others. It was never a 100% consensus that Second Peter's was valid or invalid, or Revelations was valid or invalid. And once I asked them, do we get rid of John, James, and Revelations? You know what he said? No, we don't get rid of them. You know why he said that? Because he believes those books. You cannot cherry pick the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. What the Lord did in his infinite wisdom was he made sure that from Genesis to Revelations that we retain the knowledge and information of what he wanted us to have. So we can't get rid of First Maccabees and then keep John, the book of John. We can't get rid of Matthew and keep Joshua. We have to keep it all. And like Florida Don said, it's two scriptures where he said he was Hebrew. Native Indians said when Cap started to take over the post, Sinetta took it down. And I'm gonna tell you, like on Sinetta's channel, what I first of all, I love, shout out to Sinetta. That's my man. Like me and y'all know me and Sinetta been friends since 2013. So that's 10 years of a relationship. And outside of battling doctrinally, me and Sinetta have never had an issue and never will have an issue. Like it's only I don't call a lot of people outside the UPK friends, but I call Sinetta a friend. That brother has always supported me, been down for me. I remember when Polite wanted to bring that woman on the show to talk about me. Polite wouldn't do it because we were, excuse me, Sinetta wouldn't do it because we were friends. But I guarantee you the reason why a lot of people rocked with the brother is because he had that hype. Like he motivated me to want to battle. He has what so like if you judging the way somebody battles, he has delivery for the battle. The only thing I would say he has to improve on is knowledge of the Bible and making sure the information is accurate, because he had no counter when I showed that homilies was a bad source to use. He had no counter for it. He didn't have no counter when I brought in the law that you can eat whatever you want. He didn't have no counter for it. So, but he does have like what is it? He had slogan. You know what I mean? He had the hype. You know what I mean? So I give him that. He definitely was on point when it came to that. So talk about that. The color purple. Y'all see, I got the color purple in the title. The reason why color purple is in the title is because I believe I'm gonna be on Mama Quad's show, Round Table of Truth, tomorrow. So on Mama Quad's show, Round Table of Truth, I'm gonna be on there, and we're gonna talk about color purple. So I'm for the first time in my life, I'm gonna have to watch Color Purple. Nazarene the Scene, he didn't come up with no sources. I know you want to, like, the only source that he came up with on subject was the homilies with pseudo Clementine, and that source didn't match. Even the whole Roman theory wasn't the subject. He had to show, like Nazarene. I'm gonna tell you what the title was again. The title was let me get it. Matter of fact, let me help you out. I'm gonna just go to the actual title. The title of the debate was Paul's teachings hostile to the apostles according to the law. What he read in Galatians was not hostilities. It was not. What he read in Galatians was not hostilities to the apostles. What he read in Corinthians was not hostilities to the apostles. It just wasn't. Not according to the law. The dietary law, you can eat meat. Leviticus the 11th chapter says what animals you can eat. Christ ate fish. So you can't say you had to be a vegan or only eat vegetables. And Christ ate fish after the resurrection. So to Nazarene Essene, if you want to tell me what he did, I mean, I'm all ears. I mean, I just don't know what it seemed. And you may have a bias too. One thing I can do when I'm judging battles is I have the ability to look out the information besides my belief. Yeah, I gotta watch the color purple Hadar Moth, man. I'm mad. Like I damn near wanted to take my quad to counsel for it. I'm joking. Like my quad said, this is what my quad told me. My quad said, I gotta go watch the color purple. And I appreciate that, Nazarene. He said, I gotta go watch the color purple and Lord be with me when I watch it, because he said it's disgusting. My quad told me, um, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Uh, Malqua was telling me, he said that he almost wanted to go to camp watching the color purple, and he almost walked out while watching the color purple. That's how bad it was. Um, so I'm gonna try to watch this movie Color Purple, and we're gonna dissect it. We're gonna dissect it. We're gonna talk about it. A lot of lesbianism. No, I'm watching the remake. He said I should watch the remake. That's what he said. Now y'all tell me, is it better to watch the remake or is it better to watch the original? Um, I don't be honest. I don't want to watch, but I love my Quad, so I'm gonna suffer. They say you gotta suffer in this truth, so this is about to be full fledged suffering. Mm. I am not looking forward to this. I just want y'all to know I am not looking forward to watching this movie. I really would. I'd rather go see Aquaman. Salakia. I'd rather go see Aquaman than see Color Purple. But just like I remember when I did that lecture on no homo, and I had to do the research for that. I remember me and Kadazai, man, researching for the lecture no homo, who destroyed our children, child molestation, like them some rough things. Yeah, the new. So they're gonna be like singing songs and shit. Man, I don't know, man. A matter of fact, I don't. Oh man, I don't. It's gonna be just pray for me, y'all. Pray for me while I go watch The Color Purple. Just pray for me. Please pray for me. Pray for my spirit. Pray for me to have strength to endure until the Oh man. But y'all make sure y'all tune in tonight. We got Cross the Line Radio. 10 o'clock tonight. If anybody wants to come on and be a guest, do a debate. Like Nazarene, if Nazarene is still in here, Nazarene the Scene TV, man, you should come on the show. Like what we do across the line, you can actually come in visually. So you can actually come on the show if you want. We can talk about it. We can talk about the debate. You can, say whatever points you want. Always do like a recap of any debate that I had. That's what I'm doing now. But if you want to come on the show tonight, you can come on the show tonight. We'll talk about it. I might talk about my lecture series, Miseducation, as a precursor. Um, so I think with that, I'm gonna say shalom. I'll get with y'all. Don't forget, I still got my 50% off sale. We got like what's today? The 28th. We got like 3 more days to the end of it. I'm officially a grandpappy or poppy. Poppy is what my grandfather used to be called. So that's what me. I'm now Poppy. You can call me Big Poppy if you want to call me that. And I'm the flyest grandpa out there right now. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Genesis 15. Let me get it for real fast. Hold on. My bad. I did say I would do that. Um yeah, my grandfather was called Poppy, so that's my new name. So call me. But it's kind of weird saying call me Poppy because that's what out here in New York. That's what we would call Hispanic brothers. Our Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. Like, hey, what's up, Poppy? Like that. But my grandfather was called Poppy. That's what we used to call, hey Poppy, Poppy, like that. So let me get Genesis 15. Um, let me get it real fast. Genesis 15:13. Okay, so Genesis 15:13, it says, and he said unto Abram, know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance, and shalt thou go with thy fathers. In peace thou shalt be buried in great old age. What that scripture is talking about, brother, is what happened in Egypt. A lot of people think that that's referring to today's time, but it's not. That's referring to what happened during Egypt's time. Exodus 12:48, when it says their sojourn was 430 years, that's what it's talking about. And when they came out, they spoiled the Egyptians. The Egyptians got judged, and that's what that's talking about. I know a lot of people like to do the 1619, 2019. That's not the same thing. What that's talking about is what happened during our time in Egypt. All right. So with that, I say shalom, Israel.